All right then. How's everyone doing? it's been a while. Busy. Life, graduation, work, family issues, relationship issues. I hope everyone's doing well though. I plan on uploading more, hopefully. I've said that many times. But this time I will be actually uploading more to that way of saying. And anyway, I want to make a little short, this time a short video. I always make 30 minutes video because I just love rambling. Most of my videos are going to be about rambling about random stuff. And if you don't like it, well, just don't listen to it, really. I'm not making you listen to my stuff. Today, I want to specifically talk about a very important topic that I think people don't read. I share this a lot. I shared it with a lot of people I know, so on. And it's a website that basically changed my life. It was one day on 4chan. you know, it's funny how you say, like, well, 4chan changes your life. How do it change your life? Well, how do it change your life? Well, because it, I wasn't looking at the bad of 4chan, right? I wasn't really. Instead, I was looking at the good side of 4chan. See, because you can use anything. You could use a phone, and you can use it for anything evil. You can use it to traffic childs, sell drugs, or do anything beyond that scope. Or you can use it to improve yourself. You can use it to, hell, probably even learn brand new activities, or consume audiobooks, or even for your job, right? People use it for both sometimes, for the good and the bad. But in today's day and age, I think this website is probably the most important website you could probably anyone could ever go to. It talks about why you should read, philosophy courses, exercise, everything. Now, if you don't know the concept of the term Western man, as everyone loves to use that word, uh, really isn't for everyone. And I find it that most people, no matter you convince them that, oh, I'm a Western man, look at me, they're not Western. Now, you probably know who I am. You probably know I'm not, to say, part of the West. And I may disagree, and I got my reasons why. Mostly it's an opinion. I would say that the idea of the West, of who is a Western man, there are two main ideas of what is a Western man. The first one would be that the Western man is part of the first world. Now, this concept of the first world is actually quite outdated. It was mainly used in the Vietnam War. Like, well, he's first world, second world, and third world. Second world would be something like Korea or Russia or something like in Eastern Europe, maybe China at that time. Well, third world would be something like Africa, which everyone agrees upon that Africa's poor, it's third world. But first world would be anything between Western Europe and the United States, Australia, and Canada. Really, that would be the concept of just the first world. Really, that's an outdated form of viewing it. I don't really view the world as first, second, and third world. I view it as a cultural way of saying, okay, this is Western, this isn't Western. Now, the debate on whether what's West and what isn't Western really doesn't make any sense because the whole point is if you classify that, well, here's first, second, and third world. That would mean that Japan is a Western country, which is In my opinion, that would be very disgusting to call Japan a Western, and the Japanese as well. Like, oh, you're a Westerner. No, you aren't. No, you aren't. You're not a Westerner at all. Like, you're right. Because they're Japanese, they're Asians, Japanese have nothing to do with the West, obviously. So, what is the West? Now, I think I have the best, you know, because of me. I personally believe I have the best understanding of this. The West is anything that has been subjugated under control of the Western world or still had significant cultures behind the West. So we all agree upon that Germany and maybe some Eastern Europe countries are part of the West. We're for certain that Britain or the UK, whatever you want to call it, Anglos are part of the West. The Nordics are part of the West. The Italians, the French, the Germans, the Spaniards, and the Portuguese are part of the West. And the other small one, Belgium, the Dutch, okay, the Dutch to make it simple, right? They're all part of the West. The West came to the actual to the actual West, which is Canada, North America, and South America. South America in the center of it was mostly Spanish, while the north was the Anglo-Saxon. The Anglo-Saxon are therefore Western, the Spanish are Western, therefore the entire continent is considered to be Western. It was Western influence, it has Western technology, the people speak a Western language, the people live in a Western way of fashion, and it depends on the West, Europe, or, you know, United States, to say that at least. So, and the point is, some Hispanics, Hispanos, right? They would argue on the premise of, well, we're not Western, we're Hispanics, or we're Latin Americans, or Iberian Americans, or these other obscure, so obscure terms that make absolutely no sense. Which I'm gonna agree, it shouldn't be Latin America, it should be Hispano or Hispanic America. Latin, the only reason was because of the French, and we fell for that French lie. But that's a whole nother story. The the whole point is that Hispanics, notably Mexicans or Mexicanos, right? Colombians, uh, basically in that rhythm, right? I would consider to be part of the West, especially, you know, Mexicanos, right? We have been westernized. We think like the West. Now, people would say, well, in a good way or in a bad way. Well, depending on what you mean by the West. People don't really like the idea of being a Westerner. Like, let's just take off the idea of which way Western man, right? That idea is super retarded, right? People would say that, but actually, I don't agree with that. If you take off the idea of, oh, let's continue to the fourth expansion of the West, which is another topic. I'm not trying to go off topic here. You're gonna get into the things about, well, whether or not we are Western, we aren't Westerners, and so on. The point is, and to make it very clearly, we are Western. If you are a descendant of a Mexican, Hispanic, or a Cuban, or a Puerto Rican, or somewhere along the lines of you're still part of North America, but you're not about Central America, you're part of the West, whether you like it or not. I mean, we are important to the West, although we haven't influenced it. Like for example, the United States, they influenced the Industrial Revolution, the cowboy. Although the cowboy isn't theirs really. You know, they are very important economically, an economic powerhouse, right? So on and so forth. You know, they have people like Thomas Edison, Nikola Tesla, who else? Benjamin Franklin, which people would say he was he was not the best person, but still, right? Theodore Roosevelt, uh, one of the richest people ever living in America. I mean, America by itself is a great idea, but at its core, you see very, very, very disgusting things. And people tend to either love that or they tend to hate that. The reason why people hate America is because of that little core that has its foundation. If they take that core off, everything falls in America. That's a whole nother topic. We could discuss that later. So, if you're a part of North America, you are Western. That's simple. Now, if you're part of South America, that is still debatable. I would say all of North and South America are Western. Just because, I mean, we speak as Western language, our buildings are based off Western culture. We think and we act like Westerners. Our ancestors were Westerners. I mean, really, if you think about it, we are part of the West. And although you may say, like, oh, the West is becoming gay, and the West is sodomites, and uh, Masons. Yes, we also had Mason interventions. If you didn't know, we had like Benito Juarez and George Washington. I mean, it's been in here forever, thanks to, let's not name them for the sake of argument, let's not name them. But we already know who it is. Deep down, we already know who it is. But I'm not here to talk about why you should think like a Westerner. We are Westerners. Embrace it, okay? And my message here is quite simple. And ever since I started being online more and more and more and more, I've always told people improve, improve, and improve and improve and improve. The plan to save the West is you. You, the person that's listening to this random guy online that faked his name right now, that you're hearing into your two ears, or one maybe, is telling you that you were the plan to save the West. Oh, but why me? I'm fat, I'm lazy. Blah, 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 blah. Stop putting excuses and listen to it. It's about to rain. The plan to save the West is you. No one else is going to pick up that axe, or pick up that gun, or pick up that book, or pick up those weights, except you. You're never going to become strong unless you do it. You're never going to learn how to shoot a gun unless you shoot it. No one is ever going to cut that tree unless you know how to chop it. You are the plan. You are the West. And you're the savior of the West. You can call me crazy, but if you don't start, how are you going to control? Sorry, how are you going to change others if you can't change yourself? You can go online and say like, "Hey, stop smoking, bro. Stop doing this, bro. I reject. Become Catholic, become Orthodox. Oh yes. Papers, Protestants. I'm Lutheran. Okay, right. I made fun of everyone, but the the thing is, you need to be the change you want the world to see. There are a lot of people out there, especially the ones of America First. They say, "Oh, I'm Catholic." Oh, let's talk about the Catholic faith. And you know, my said friends, you know who you are, right? You know, we asked them like, "Hey, the Orthodox, You're a Catholic. Oh, okay. The Protestants go to heaven. They don't know how to respond. Or if you go against their narrative, they start slurring you, and you look at them like, well, that's not very Catholic of them. Not Catholic, but I mean, it's not very Catholic or Christian or Lutheran or whatever you want to call them by them. But that's another topic. So I want to talk today 18 suggestions to make your life happier, to change yourself, to become better, and to climb to the peak of perfection. You see that man at the very top. You have, every single person in this earth, I've seen a man, and you say, I want to be like that guy, whether he's alive or he's dead. Sometimes I look at, personally, I see at Jesus. I see Jesus, my Lord and Savior, and I see him, and I say, he's my inspiration. I want to be like him. Sometimes I look at, like, I want to be, he's my imitation. I imitate him. Maybe for you it's not Jesus, but it should be. But you know, sometimes we can't. We can't imitate what he did. Sometimes we need to imitate other people, but ultimately you need to become yourself. But let's say like you're gonna go to work, or you're gonna go to college, or you're gonna go study something. Who do you want to be? Who do you want to imitate? Do you want to imitate the the soldier, or you want to imitate the philosopher? Like, well, obviously I want to imitate the philosopher. Think of Socrates, Plato, Thomas Aquinas, Augustine, uh, Nietzsche, if you were into that guy, uh, Hegel's, uh, who else? Who else? Some other ones. Some other ones. I don't know. Oh, the Stoics. The Stoics. I forgot them. Marcus Aurelius, right? Stuff. People like that, right? You need to imitate people or think like some people in certain situations. So try to think what some people do. So I'm going to talk about my 18, not my 18, but my favorite websites. 18 firm suggestions. Number one, which is you need to learn new skills. Every single day, grow 1% stronger. Every single day. Learn something new, know a new skill. Get yourself there. I sent a video on my Telegram, time management. Watch it. And there it's going to explain to you how to make goals, how to set up goals. Get yourself a list and say, this week, this day, like a Monday, I'm gonna learn how to cook men. Okay, you're gonna talk about men here. You can do this. It's Thursday. Do this on Monday if you want. On Monday, I want to learn how to cook rice. So you put that down. Monday, this is my plan, but my goal, the skill I'm gonna learn on Monday, how to cook rice. On Tuesday, I know how to cook rice. I don't want to learn about cooking anymore. On Tuesday, I'm gonna learn how to what skill? Hmm. I'm gonna build uh something for my room. I'm gonna learn how to paint a a tree or a map. I'm gonna make a map. I'm gonna learn the art of mapping my garden or something like that. Okay. Wednesday. What are you gonna do on Wednesday? On Wednesday, I'm gonna learn a new workout. Maybe a new way of running. Okay. On Thursday, I'm gonna learn 10 new words of my language that I want to desire to learn, like Latin. Like maybe Thursday I'm going to learn 10 words. And I'm going to memorize these words, or 20 words, or 5 words, or one word, or one meaning of a word. It doesn't have to be a lot. Micro mastery. Remember that. There's a cool podcast. I might post it on my Telegram. On Friday, I'm gonna learn how to how to drive a manual car. And telling you, manual car is really easy. I drive a manual truck, right? On Saturday, I'm gonna learn a new movement on soccer or football, basketball, whatever. Doing one thing every day, and then you look at the year and say, "This is all the things I did," and you're gonna be proud of yourself. You're gonna say, "I grew stronger 1% every single day." That is how you're going to become a better person. If you don't do the stuff, then you're not gonna do stuff in the future. If you can't do it now, you won't be able to do it next year. Until you say today I'm gonna do it, you go and do it. The second point, you gotta read books. I know so many people that say, "Oh, I'm so intelligent overall," and you tell them, "Oh, have you read you guys have probably seen this on Telegram. I've been on Telegram. There's some guy that joins the chat. He's a national socialist. Well, he calls himself a national socialist. He goes on there like, read Siege, bros. Like, oh, read Siege. You probably met those people, right? And they say like, oh, Hitler was pagan. Da da da. Or Hitler didn't like Christians, or it's crazy, or some other stuff, right? But mainly the objection is like, oh, Hitler wasn't Christian, right? Like Hitler was actually pagan. Like, okay. Well, then you say like, well, have you read Mein Kampf? And then they say like, yeah, a little bit. Oh, you have. Can you send me a picture of your copy? And immediately, everything of their worldview crumbles. I have two copies of Mein Kampf there. One of them is the full version. The other one's like the first part. I'm still gonna buy the other translation because it's actually a good book to read. It's a good red pill, but it should be taken as a literal philosophy of the world. Not at least. Not now. And the thing is, you need to read books. If you don't read books, you're not gonna understand things. You want to understand Plato? Well, you can look up a video, you can look up things, but usually that's a third source. If you want to see what Plato actually said, you go to the book, you read the book, and the book is going to tell you what it simply is. Not going to try to make it complicated, try to make you into circles, and then say, okay, this is what he actually meant. Like most people do. Like people read the Bible, like Baptists. They read the Bible. They say, well, it wasn't wine. It was actually grape juice. It was grape juice. It wasn't grape juice, okay? It was wine. All right. I don't like talking about that, but it was wine. You can drink alcohol. It's not a sin. It's not a sin. Okay. I'm not. Don't become drunk though. Okay. We all have our problems. We have our problems though. Don't be drunk. So read books. You can read the news, but read books. Read books. Read. There's audiobooks. There's so many ways to read books. You can listen to books. The third point, rebuild your lost community. It says here, start a club, a community group. Maybe do a chess club, a sport, reading, cooking. Build a tribe around your non-political interests. Now we as Hispanics, we already kind of have this, but if you don't, do one. Make a club, make a community. One say, you know what? Every Thursday at dot to dot, like 7 to 9, I'm gonna post posters all around my neighborhood. I'm gonna say, look, meet us here if you're interested in reading or chess or in a sport, basketball or a Bible study or anything. It could be anything you desire. There's a whole list. I'm not gonna say it now, but I have like a whole list of these things you could do and make friends. And people, like-minded people, would be around you. Obviously, you don't want them to change you. Don't do that. If you're gonna be you, the one listening here, you are supposed to save them. Okay, make them change. Because most people are very bad in education and so on. Number four, earn a high social standing. Be a dependable man of stature. If people see you as a weak person, as someone who doesn't even have self respect, you are doing something wrong. Get a high social standing. Become a dependable man, as it says. Stop relying on others. Stop asking for help when you don't need help. Be dependable. When you have something, why would you need people to see you. Say when this guy, there's a problem, he fixes his problems. When he goes and helps people, he helps people. That's what you have to do. Be dependable. Number five, accept challenges and compete. Your neighbor tells you, hey, I bet you can't beat me up in a boxing match. Accept the challenge. And if you lose, it tells you you need to improve, you need to improve, you need to improve. Hey Jimmy, you think you can carry this bag of corn? It's like 200 pounds. I could do it. You do all you can, you could probably do it, but you're not halfway there. That means you need to improve, you need to improve, you need to improve. Accept challenges. You need to compete with other people. When you compete in that time, when you win other people, you will feel great. But when other people win, that means that the other person might improve in order you to become even better. Do challenges. Number six, overcome your emotions. Only rational determination will help you now. Emotional decisions are for girls. A leader must act logically and do what is right, not what feels right. Emotional men cannot be constant leaders. If you let your emotions control you, you are not going to get anywhere in life. I'm telling you. You need to think and act with logic. Okay? Don't do what feels right. You can have 10 friends, and those 10 friends will tell you, hey, hook up with that prostitute over there. Hey, why don't you go and bang her? Why don't you go and bang her? Come on, nothing bad's gonna happen. Come on, I know you want it. Come on, look at that. Look at that back of hers. Look at that chest. Look at the chest. Oh my God. Oh my. Oh my. Oh my. They're gonna be saying that, and your mind's gonna be thinking, and your mind's gonna be, well, I know it's wrong. I know I shouldn't be doing this, but I feel like I need to do it because peer pressure, which is a feeling, not a think. It's not a logical thinking, it's a feeling. It has no reason. So you go and you do something that you weren't supposed to do, and then you regret that thing. You, sir, were thinking you were thinking like a girl. Emotions. If you're a leader, you need to act logically and do what is right, not what feels right. Emotional men cannot be considered leaders. If you do anything what someone tells you, or you do everything with your feelings, like, oh, I feel bad for him, I'm gonna help him, or say, no, he is bad, I'm gonna go and help him. You see that? Man, I don't feel like eating today. I feel like I want to eat at McDonald's. I don't feel like cooking. But you know, the right thing to do is to cook, not to go to McDonald's and get fat. And that's our 7th point. Don't be fat. If your ideas cause you to be fat, then you have bad ideas. Okay? Don't be fat. If you want to go out there and say, oh, Jew's bad, and you look like a pig, I'm not gonna take you serious. You're fat. You think Napoleon, Jesus were fat? They had self-respect and self-discipline to take care of their own body. Just look at all the great men. Were they fat? Were they fat? They weren't fat. They weren't fat at all. Socrates wasn't fat. Plato wasn't fat. Hitler wasn't fat. St. Paul wasn't fat. Peter. Most of the popes weren't fat. Most of the popes. I'm not gonna say all. Most. Which like 90 something percent. Were like they weren't fat. The saints. They weren't fat. The conquistadors. They weren't fat. Do you see Hernan Cortez being a fat bastard? No, he wasn't. Don't be fat. If you're fat, you have bad ideas. People won't follow you. People will get away from you because you're fat. You have bad ideas. Number 8, don't be weak. If your ideas cause you to be weak, then you have bad ideas. Now, there's a difference between being weak and staying weak. Being weak is fine, but if you stay weak, you got a problem. Weak means you cannot even defend yourself. You don't even try to defend yourself. Weak is being scared of death. Being weak is being scared of anything that frightens you. And being weak is saying, I'm scared of the water because I'm weak. Therefore, I'm not going to go to water. Instead of saying, because I'm weak, say, because I don't want to, because I'm scared. But I shouldn't be doing that. Maybe I should stop losing my weakness and cowardness and go and learn how to swim. Don't be weak. You have bad ideas if you be weak. Just of being fat. Number 9, guard your health. It is your precious, firm foundation. If you don't guard your health, you'll crumble. If you get diabetes, high high sugar pressure or high pressure or whatever the heck it's called, that means that you're depending on that means that you're depending on doctors. Guard your health. Take care of your health. Take care when you eat. Don't eat stuff that is going to destroy you. It is your foundation. No health, you die. Number 10, quit sugar. It gauns your integrity with every bite. Oh, this is so important. If you can not drink any sugary drinks 1 week, that means hold on. That means like you shouldn't be drinking soda. Get rid of the sodas. Get rid of those chips. Get rid of those sugary cookies. Get rid of anything that you know. This thing has sugar. Throw it away. You say, look, yeah, if you actually are into it, pray and say, you know, pray. Go to your kitchen. Grab everything. Grab a grab a trash bag or anything. Throw it. Go outside and burn it if you can. Luckily, I can. I can go outside and just burn it. Throw it away. And don't look back. Number 11. This is mostly for people that are 20. Have an above average number of children and raise them well. In your veins flow the ancient and virtuous blood of heroes. Send it forth into the future. For my Hispanic friends, we have the blood of nobles, of conquerors, of settlers, revolutionaries, rebels, hunters, gatherers, people that stood up and said, we aren't scared of anything. That's what they were. They're heroes. That's your blood running in their blood is running in your veins. That's why we as Hispanics, some of us, we get tired of just being there or just staying there. Like we want to go on adventure and do stuff. One of the things that we Hispanics have is being very romantic, but also very adventurous and wanting to know, wanting to see, wanting to explore, to settle and suffer and conquer and stuff that ours. And that is what it is. So, when you have kids, tell them you have the blood of these people. Make them love themselves for who they are. Obviously, don't have kids to a random girl and get her pregnant. Have kids that you said, you know, I want to have kids. If you don't, I mean, that's up to you. Number 12, do not fill your blood with poison. If you do, you do not deserve your blood. Deserve means to earn through service. Don't do drugs. Don't smoke weed. Maybe you can smoke a cigar. You can drink alcohol. That's fine. Try to avoid it though. It's in your blood. Deserve means to earn through service. Don't fill your body with poison. Drugs are poison. Let's be honest. I think that's self-explanatory. Number 13. Drink water. If you're not gonna reclaim everything, if you're drying up, drink water. Drink a lot of water. A lot of water. People really forget about this. Drink a lot of water. Number 14. Become persuasive. Become more persuasive. Study influence and learn how to influence others. Very important. If you can do that, you can change people. Number 15, boost your vocabulary. Learn how to write Old English. Learn how to read Old English. Hispanic friends. Learn how to speak Spanish. Habla español. Es muy fácil. Learn. Learn and boost your vocabulary. Learn the definitions. Speak like if you have a bold and a very clear vocabulary. When you put big words, people already know this guy knows what he's talking about. Just like the 14 point. Become more persuasive. You can boost your vocabulary. People will think you're better. Now for the big three. Number 16. Learn to live alongside the forces of evil and degeneracy and be unchanged by them. And by so doing, you change them. The effect of your gravity is greater than you imagine. You're the gravitational tether that can transform downward degenerate directions by strong example upward. Learn to live alongside all those people that are degenerate and evil. Smokers, weeders, whores, you name it. Be unchanged by them. Instead, By doing so, you change them. They're gonna be all sick. They're gonna be all tired. They're gonna be like, man, why is this guy so happy, so bold? Why does everyone love him? Why does everyone want to be like him? And then they're gonna see what you do. You don't smoke. You're not saying words you're not supposed to say. You're doing all these stuff. And they're gonna think, and they're like, he's right. He's right. I need to change. And then they're gonna ask you for help. You change them. And then they'll be happy. They say, that was the point. I needed to be like him. Don't be changed by them. Don't be changed by you know who. Don't be changed by people that you don't care. That they don't care about themselves. That's the point. I'm 40 minutes in already. I'm almost done. Anyway, 17. Learn to recognize the many forms of which the enemies of the West will take. Learn to identify their habits, behaviors, and the lies they tell you. Western men at present do not understand the natures of the forces preying upon them. In this situation will be decided one way or the other. Reveal to many the true nature of reality. Lead the guide your people. Set your people free. What's saying is go out there and do something about it. Rather to be online, public, or anything. Learn to recognize what these people that are against you do. And when you learn, tell others. Reveal to them and tell them the true nature of reality. The reality of the situation. Don't be silent about it. Tell them. Sometimes you plant the seed in them. And finally, 18, which is probably one of the most important ones. Bring forth good fruit. It will be obvious to all of your philosophy is any good. You won't even have to utter a word. Your philosophy will prove itself in your health, fitness, posture, your virtuous behavior, attire cleanliness and well grooming, your sobriety, your self discipline, mental balance and mastery over your emotions, your conquest over egnocentricity, your bravery and honesty, and above all, in your defense of your highest sense of honor and duty. If you are a mess, then your philosophy is a mess, and you should only share it with others as a warning. So it's saying here, bring forth good fruit. If you are, your philosophy will prove itself when when your peak fitness, your posture, your mental balance, your mastery over your emotions, your bravery, your honesty, and that you honor your duties more than anything else. And as it says there, if you're a mess, your philosophy is a mess. You should only share it with others as a warning. How many people you know, like those siege people, you tell them, do you work out? What do you eat? What do you look like? Do you shave? It's embarrassing. They go online and they go like, oh, Siege 1488, let's go and kill all these people. Oh, I laugh at them because you look at them, it's embarrassing. Like you look at me, like I'm not saying I'm like ripped. I'm I'm almost into there. I'm trying to lower my body fat, but people LARP sometimes. The reality is bring forth good fruit. Be an example. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is concluding my 40-minute, 44-minute rant, almost 45. Uh, This is probably very low quality, I'm sorry. But if you did like it, share it around. I'll leave the link on down the description for you to read. If you don't want to listen to it, it's a it's a good way to think about it. I do plan on making probably uh Bible study again, just because I read it and I read the Bible, right? And I'm like, well, it's the milk content. So I don't know, maybe I'll do it. But anyway, farewell. I don't know when I'll do more videos. I'm not sure. For now, just stick on the Telegram. That's where I'm probably gonna upload more stuff. So have a nice day, everyone, and God bless.